Here's me overseas, across the pond by the Dover Peaks. I've smuggled myself into new nationality.
So I didn't almost actually get blown up by a hand grenade. Uh, that statement's a little bit misleading. But as they say, close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades, right? So it is true that about 3 blocks from my apartment on, I believe it was Monday night, the 6th of September, a hand grenade did go off, like in the city. So there's actually a video available for it, and I will put the link in the description of this video so you can actually watch the video of the instance occurring. But basically, what you see in the video, if you don't watch it, you basically just see basically somebody on like a moto or a motorcycle is driving down the road and just kind of tosses a grenade out, and it explodes like right on the side of this white SUV. I think it was some type of Lexus. But so the official report is that it was, like an isolated incident, maybe some type of retaliation against somebody. But I don't know. I talked to some of the local people, and some people say they think maybe it is like government influenced. We're coming up on like elections that are coming up here in Phnom Penh in the next couple of years. And I'm not going to talk too much about that, but basically, I don't know what the official ruling, honestly, what the like official causation of it was. But either way, it's a little bit scary. Like I said, it was like 3 blocks from my house, and dude just threw out a hand grenade in the street. I'm not worried about it though. Like again, I feel safe here. I really do. Like I was saying in maybe my second or third video that I made, like I feel very, very safe here. Like I said, as long as you're not stupid, and of course, anything can happen anywhere in the world that you go. Bad things can happen. But yeah, I just want to let you guys know about that. Like I said, I'll put the video in the link. Watch the video. It's pretty wild, pretty wild. It's actually like I was talking about in one of my last videos. Also, it's coming up on rainy season, so it's been a little bit dreary, a little bit dark, and I think that maybe it's a little bit cliche, and I'm sure that it's not any thought that is profound or anything that anybody else has never thought of. But I think sometimes when we look at things like adverse weather or things that darken our lives a little bit, it makes us appreciate, the sunny days or the good things in life more so when we're dealing with those or when we're experiencing those things. And I bring this up because I haven't made a video in I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 days. But I've been going through some personal things in my own life, and one of the things that I experienced was, like I told you before, I have 2 jobs here. One where I teach at a school in the daytime, and the other one I teach at I tutor at a investment firm in the city. And what happened was, for my second job, my nighttime job in the investment firm, my class sizes started dwindling. So this is a big company. It's like it's a very large company. They're a real estate and gold investment company. I don't know. They have like 300 or 400 employees. Like it's legitimately like a big company. And they just took on some new accounts within the past few weeks. So they've been having like a lot of meetings, and people keep having to skip the class to go to like all these new meetings and learn about the new accounts and what have you. So the company basically said like, hey, for now we're going to put your class on hold. In the future, like we might bring you back and start that up again, which would be great. But for now, it's a little bit debilitating in for my financial revenue. So, like I also said before, I didn't want to go into too much about finances at places that I'm working. So I guess since I'm not technically working in there now, I can tell you a little bit about it. But basically, at this job, I was making like $15 an hour, which, even in the U.S., like making $15 an hour is decent. But again, coming here, like $15 an hour is like pretty good. So although that's not my main supply of income, it's not my main source of income by any means. My school is my main source of income, and then that's just like a supplement, extra income. Anything I make from there is just, extra money that I have, which is sweet. But now I'm not going to have that anymore. So I'm trying to put some things together and figure out what my next step is going to be from here. And that's something more that I can talk to you guys about as I'm figuring out and actually bringing to fruition and realizing the specific plans and ideas. But we'll see how that goes. But it kind of just relates to these like dark, rainy days, and it also reminds me of when I hiked on the Appalachian Trail. I didn't do the whole thing. I did like 250 miles of it, maybe 3 or 4 years ago, in the course of like a month and a half or 2 months. So anybody who's an avid hiker knows that's an incredibly slow pace, especially if you're walking on the Appalachian Trail. And also, if you're unaware of the Appalachian Trail, it's literally a trail in the U.S. It runs from Maine, which is in the far, far northeast corner of the U.S., and it runs down to Georgia, which is like central southern, or eastern central southern United States. I believe the entire trail is maybe 11 or 1,200 miles, maybe 1,000, somewhere around there, just over 1,000 miles. Like I said, I did like 250 miles or so of it. And I just look back on that. When I was doing it, it was super awesome. But there were a lot of like things that I encountered that I forgot like afterwards. So when I got back, like, especially after being separated from it for 6 months, a year and a half later, when I look back on it, I would self-embellish it so much. When I remember things, like I always remembered all the beautiful views, and I remembered like the fresh water, and I remembered like how good it made me feel and how healthy I was. But I would forget a lot about things like how bad my feet would hurt at the end of the day, or in the middle of the day, or any second of any day, and how bad my legs would hurt, my back would hurt, and how some nights you just couldn't get a good sleep because when you put up your tent, there's just rocks and there's nowhere comfortable you could possibly find to lay down. And I just feel like as a whole, as a species, a society, as just our human condition, it's something that we do a lot is when we look back on events, if it's something that we think was a good event, we look back on it and we only remember the good things. But also, inversely, if we look back on something that we say, hey, this was a bad experience for me, this is a negative thing, we only look at the bad things. And I think we have to be more honest with ourselves to remember that anything we do has bad and good experiences. Every problem that you're going through right now is part of a greater whole of a chapter in your life or a segment. And that whole as a chapter has good and it has bad. And I think it's important that we equally remember when we look back at the good times to remember what the negative aspects of those good times were. Or if we look back at the bad times, to remember the positive aspects, whether it's something that we came out stronger or we learned along the way, or just something that happened during that time that wasn't bad. Not all the time is bad and not all the time is good. So just something that I was thinking about when like I'm looking out at these rainy days. And I don't mind rain that much. I'll take it over the snow. Like I'll take warm, rainy weather any day over like snow. But again, it's when we have these dark, cloudy days, and when we have like the good days later, how these dark, cloudy days like they bring substance to the good days. But we also have to remember, just as we have these dark, cloudy days right now, like there's still good things that are happening. Every day we wake up, it could be a dark, cloudy day. The atmosphere could be a dark, cloudy atmosphere. But in that atmosphere, there are still going to be things that have a positive light. If it's not a literal light, there's some radiating form of, whether you want to call it energy or just the universe or our experience. There's something that our brain is going to interpret it in a positive way if we just open our eyes and allow ourselves to see that there is something positive. But yeah, so that's just something I was thinking about. But also, like, with this job thing, like, don't worry about me. Like, if you were worried about me, don't. Like I said, I have my full-time job in the morning, and that's where I get my real money from. The other one's just like a supplement. And it's not like I'm destitute out here. Like I've spoken to you guys about. Like, I could get another nighttime job if I wanted to, and I do want to. I'm just exploring exactly what route I want to go down. Whether it's working at another institution or another school, or trying to do something on my own, which I would prefer to do. But like I said, those are things that I'm debating internally, and I have no definitive conclusion yet as to which way I'm going to lean in the next few days or weeks. But yeah, so thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate you looking in, and